Okay, now this is a second take on this. Half the fat hamburgers. Bob's Essential Guide, half the fat hamburgers. How are they half the fat? Because we add an equal portion of rice. So we've got 1 pound raw hamburger, right? 1 pound of cooked rice, okay, which is 1 cup of rice and 3 cups of water. Or you could use 2.5 cups of water, 1/3 cup of teriyaki sauce. In fact, maybe you could just go 2 cups of water, leave out that half cup of water, because we don't want it to get it too moist. That makes the hamburgers fall apart in the frying pan. But you can also add an egg to it. Also, optional, add 1 cup of chopped onions and peppers, so we're going to do the teriyaki sauce, and we're going to do a 1 cup of chopped onions and peppers. Now, what does that do for you? It gives you half the fat and 1/3 less calories. Okay, more fiber, less expensive, and you get more hamburger out of it too, right? So half the fat, 1/3 less calories, more fiber in your diet, and it's less expensive. It's like it cuts the price of hamburger in half. Okay, here's how we're going to make it. 1/3 cup teriyaki sauce. Put that in. Make sure that's in. That's optional. This is optional. 1 cup rice. And then 1 cup water. 2 cups water. And 1/2. Okay. We're going to add the hamburger, and we're going to add this later. So the onions and the peppers are nice and crispy and crunchy. But we could throw them in there too now if you want to. But next is the microwave. Okay. Here we're going to make the rice. Okay. And I'm going to set it for 15 minutes. Okay, you see the rice here. It's actually it's still moist, but it's kind of clumpy. That means it's kind of a little bit dried. It should not be too moist. That's one of the most important things. Now, 1 cup, not more than 1 cup, and finely chopped onions and peppers. Now, the finer the chop, the better, and stuff. So, chop this maybe better than what I did already. And mix it up really good. Add the hamburger. This is exactly 1 pound. It's a more expensive hamburger. But I only bought it because it was in exact measured amounts. You can use cheaper hamburger, and it cuts because you're doubling the volume of the hamburger. You are making hamburgers for half the price. Twice as many hamburgers, half the price. See? So, just mix everything together really good, really thoroughly. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll show you the frying pan part next. Okay, now I have the frying pan with plenty of oil in it, nice and hot. It's on level 5, 6, right, for the initial putting in, right? You look at your hamburger buns for comparison on size, and then make a meatball. And you want this to be fairly thick. That's one of the most important things. Although this is too moist, maybe. We'll see how it works. We can always add egg later. And I'll do a second one in here. Because these are really thick, you don't want to put too many in the frying pan. You can't crowd them in. Okay, now that's the basic idea. These are, yeah, I think these are a little bit too moist. Add some more breadcrumbs to them. Hamburger is always different, and there's always something different. But these got to be really, really thick if you're going to have chopped onions and rice and everything else in them. I'm getting them too crowded, I think. But, beginning to smell good. Okay. We're going to stop here. And we'll cook these for a while. 15 minutes each side, right? I'm going to like smash them down with the spatula a little bit later, but first you got to get the initial crusty part started, and you'll see how the rice makes it nice and crusty. You'll be able to brown it and brown it on the one side really, really good. But we'll let these cook high heat for now. Turn them over maybe, then low heat. And then the low heat for a while just to get the excess moisture out. But you got to get the outside solidified to, bind together first. Again, you can always add an egg. If you find that the first 2 or 3 aren't working right, you can always throw an egg in there, okay, for the rest of them so they don't fall apart. But so far it looks good. Okay, let's see if we can test flip it here. Say, test flip this one, not enough time. This one flipped okay. Had to be 10 minutes. You have to let it cook for a while. Have to leave the lid on to make sure that you cook the other parts of it. You initially make sure they're not sticking, right, with the spatula. Oh, I was a little too rough with that one. Coming apart a little bit. That one's good. And the rice makes it nice and brown and blackened on the outside. And we'll just have to let it go cook on low for a long time. For like 15 minutes. Right? Number 3 on the electric stove, basically. Which is low heat. Basically just under medium. Medium's 5, 4, 5, and 6. So this is going to be low heat. High-low, right? And we're just going to have to let this go for 15 minutes, and then that way it'll be cooked through. See, lots of steam because it's a little bit too moist. Maybe add an egg. Don't add chopped onions. Don't add chopped peppers because that makes it more difficult, right? But some of these are working out. There's one that kind of broke up, 2 of them that kind of broke up. The other 3 are staying in really good shape. See, and just got to cook the excess moisture out of it at low heat, covered up, and it should be good to go. And then you keep them nice and thick. See, this would be okay for the grill, right? This could be okay for probably you'd want to put it on a cooking sheet to make sure that they don't break up, So anyway. I'll show you later how it turns out. Okay, here's the end result. Nice, big, thick, juicy, huge hamburger. Really huge hamburger. I ate 2 of these already, and I'm completely, um, totally like full. And let me try to back this up here a little bit. See, you got the tomatoes and onions, and you got the buns and some cheese and that there. And these burgers are literally twice as thick, and they taste great. Now, it's blackened on the top. That's because of rice and of also the teriyaki sauce in it. These taste great. They're nice and juicy when you bite into them too. So this is a great thing for like Super Bowl kind of holiday gathering, kind of 4th of July kind of thing. This is fantastic, right? So definitely consider this. This is definitely a good idea. Now, you might have to experiment a little bit because, like me, a lot of people will add too much stuff to it, and when you add too much stuff to it, then the hamburgers fall apart. See, the other two kind of fell apart a little bit because I tried to flip them too soon. Right? You got to let them cook initially really hot in the frying pan, and you brown the one side really good so it stays together. Flip them over, turn down the heat, put the lid on it, and then let it go for like 15 minutes because these are twice as thick as a regular hamburger is. So yeah, this is definitely something that you should try to do. You can throw in like pineapple chunks possibly, make a Hawaiian hamburger out of it kind of thing. The key is not to get too moist. Too many ingredients in it will make it fall apart in the frying pan. So you might want to practice with it a little bit at first. So you're not going to overeat on this either. This is good for diet because the rice is good at raising your blood sugar, telling you you're full and you're not hungry anymore. So this is really good. I wish you tasty mistakes.